Have you ever wished to be able to know things that lay outside of your normal five senses? Have you ever wished for an easier way to contact your spirit guides? If so, keep watching. Welcome to another exciting episode of Love Not Fear. I'm Jack Cox, author of
Ta-da! Love Not Fear.
And I'm here with my gorgeous co-host, Annie Day, author of two scrumptious books,
Orgasmic Health and Your Guide to Feeling Fabulous Fast.
and my good friend Barnabas, who's written
a book called Love, all about love, and it's poetry, and it's got essays in it, short essays, all about the subject of love from the many different meanings of the word love.
Indeed. All you need is
love.
La 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 la. All you need is love. La 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 la. All you need is love. Love is all you need. I'm a great advert for you, aren't I?
it's a brilliant little book, Andrew. Oh, sorry, Barnabas.
It really is.
Right, for those of you who aren't new to the show, you're probably wondering why Andrew is suddenly calling himself Barnabas. But we shall try to get it right during this show, and I shall try not to make any mistakes.
You know what they say, Jack? The person who never made any mistakes never learns anything. So we want to make mistakes because we want to learn and grow and develop.
I think I've learned enough for this incarnation. Thank you very much. I don't need any more. Right, so runes, tarot, and oracle guidance cards. That's what we're talking about this week.
Yep.
Prior to, I don't know, around about the 1400s, tarot was actually a game, a card game. It was played with a deck of 78 cards. Each card had symbols, as indeed they do today. And according to the symbols, the game would play out in a specific manner. Slowly, people began to realize that there was more going on. And the cards weren't just coming up at random. They were actually speaking a specific message to each player. The tarot, the symbols on the cards are used to represent entire concepts, such as spiritual principles, philosophical ideas, and social archetypes. It's often said that tarot is a tool of divination, and so it is. But we're not just talking about fortune telling. Divination is the art of seeing the unknown by supernatural means. So what do we mean by supernatural? Well, maybe these days we'd probably use a different word. We'd probably say quantum. As we discussed a few weeks ago, separateness is an illusion. In 1935, Albert Einstein described quantum entanglement as spooky action at a distance. But of course, if there's no separation, then there can be no distance. Space and time are all part of the illusion we discussed previously on the show. Yeah. Many times. Now, I believe there's an aspect of consciousness that is not tied into the illusion of space and time. But our normal level of consciousness, while we are incarnate, is tied into it. So how can we bridge the gap? Well, fortunately for us, we have runes, tarot, and oracle guidance cards. And they can all be used as a bridge. And that is what we'll be exploring in this episode. Other methods include tea leaf reading and crystal ball gazing, which we're not going to be talking about in this episode. Maybe
Very good
next
at tea leaf reading, darling.
time. Are you good?
No, I'm
Right.
not. My paternal grandma was really good at it.
Oh, mine was, yeah. Mine was.
Yeah.
So using these tools, can people actually see the future? Well, I think that's a common misunderstanding. Believe me, if I could see the future, I'd be hightailing it down to the bookies and you'd never see me again. So, although tarot can't foretell the future, it's very good at identifying trends. I was taught tarot by my second wife, Christina, with a K, who used to say, if I tell a client that there's a fair chance that they're going to fall over and hurt themselves on the way out of the shop, then they've wasted, and if they do fall over and hurt themselves on the way out of the shop, they've wasted their money. It wasn't a prediction, it was a warning so that they could take more care. Whatever the cards say, that information will enable you or your client to make different decisions, and the future will change. The future isn't fixed. So when that hit home, I stopped trying to predict the future and started using the cards as a bridge between our everyday 3D consciousness and that special 5D consciousness that some call their guardian angel, their spirit guides, and I call the higher self, because there is nothing outside of us. I think that's how tarot cards function best. As far as I'm concerned, this is the primary function of tarot cards, to put you in touch with your inner guides. Whatever card is dealt or drawn from the pack provides insights into your life or your client's life if you're reading for somebody else. You know, I love tarot. I've been reading it for over 30 years. The cards have evolved, well, over the last 100 years, particularly. I think they've evolved a lot and become a rich blend of influences. The symbolism of the cards has roots in things like Egyptian mythology, Jewish Kabbalah, Gypsy beliefs, Buddhist Dharma, Christian doctrine, as well as Celtic mythology and Druidic practices. And some particular decks lean more towards one than the other, than another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pick a deck that you like, that speaks to you. The basic tarot deck is divided into two categories, the major arcana and the minor arcana. The word arcana actually means mystery. So the higher mysteries and the lower mysteries. The major arcana consists of 22 cards that tell us of the big changes in life and of karmic connections. They symbolize the path of awareness, meaning, and understanding. The 56 cards of the minor arcana consist of four different suits, which represent metaphysical elements. Cups represent water, which governs emotions. Pentacles, known as coins in some decks, represent the element of earth, which governs our finances. Swords represent the element of air, which governs our intellectual pursuits. And wands, known as rods in some decks, represent the element of fire, which governs action. They relate directly to things of a more practical and human nature. And in general, they tend to reveal things that are critical for us to know, but are more down to earth, more day-to-day things. So used together with the major arcana, the minor arcana actually show the relationship between the earthly realm and the spiritual realm. And in that of itself unveils a story of a full concept of the situation in question. If you're using a traditional tarot spread, rather than just pulling 3 cards or a single card, then the position in which the cards fall is very significant. Now, I'm not going to be going into depth on spreads here, but I will put some information in the show notes about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just way, way, way too much. There are some very good spreads, but far too many to mention here. It also matters whether a card is drawn dignified, which means the right way up, or ill-dignified, which means reversed. I don't know why the terms dignified and ill-dignified seem to have gone out of fashion. People just talk about upright and reverse now, but I like to stick with the old words. They speak to me.
Works for you, Jack.
Yeah, I could go on about the Americans dumbing down the English language, but I won't mention that in this show. Oh shit! I just did. Some people think that an ill-dignified card means the opposite, but I think it's more of a potential thing, you know? Depends on the action suggested in the surrounding cards. You'll get the feel of it when you start reading. You just get a feel of it. You know instinctively what's right and what it's meant to say.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need to learn all the meanings. They get tied down. They want to learn 78 different meanings. Yeah, it's good to have a rough idea, to have an overview, but just look at the card, look at the symbolism on the card, and let it tell you a story. It's talking to your subconscious, not the subconscious of the person it was that designed the deck, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, what I just said about dignified and ill-dignified is only relevant if you're reversing the cards while shuffling. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll just show you what I mean by that. I've got my tarot deck is still in Stafford. But if when you're shuffling like this, you turn them over a few times, yeah? I think you can see what I'm doing.
Why would you do that? I don't understand.
Why would I do it?
Yeah, why would you be deliberately doing it so some would be reversed?
Because the reverse.
I'm just curious. I don't know anything about tarot, so I'm just curious.
It's all right. Please ask as many questions as you like.
Okay.
That's what makes it work. You do it because the reverse meanings, the ill-dignified meanings, are different meanings.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. The same as with
So
read.
if you just shuffle the cards like that, you're not going to get any reverse meanings, are you?
I don't know. Sometimes they jump out. Sometimes all sorts of things happen when you're shuffling.
Yeah,
That's why I'm curious.
sometimes
So you're deliberately reversing some of them then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm letting my subconscious tell me which ones to reverse. I'm not thinking about it consciously.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the subconscious, or the part of your mind, the fifth dimensional part of your mind, is encoding the cards when you shuffle them. It's not a conscious thing. You ask the cards a question, a very, very specific question. It has to be a very, very specific question. And then you ask the cards. I mean, I've got to put all this straight because there's no reverse meanings in this Oracle deck. But just to give you an idea, yeah? And then you pick a card, or one jumps out at you. Several jump out at you, which is good when it happens.
Yeah.
So every single reader has different spreads that they like. Every single reader has their own. Every single reader has different spreads that they particularly like to use, and they all use them in different ways. And there's no right way or wrong way.
No, absolutely that.
I was talking to a friend recently who had a reading with somebody else, and she said that the reader did the spread all wrong in her mind, but the answer came out perfect.
Wasn't wrong then, was it?
Wasn't wrong then, was it? That's her method. There's no right or wrong when it comes
There's
to
no right or wrong, darling.
just follow your gut feeling.
Absolutely. And your beautiful intuition.
Yeah. So oracle or guidance cards serve the exact same purpose as tarot cards. And Annie will be telling us all about it in a few minutes.
I will, indeedy.
The main difference is that tarot is very structured, traditional and ritualistic, whereas oracle cards are more flexible. They may not necessarily have 78 cards in a deck.
They've usually got 44.
And they don't usually have suits. I love both forms of divination. In the past, I've mostly used tarot, although I'm starting to get more into oracle, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a new departure for me, but I'm finding them quite useful.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as I've left my tarot cards back in.
I bet the speaking tree's got some, Jack.
I'm sure they've got those. I'm going to let you all into a little secret. A little secret. I had a favourite deck. I really did. I had a very, very favourite deck called the Tarot of the Ages. I don't know whether any of you have seen it. The major arcana are all Egyptian figures, and the suits are different ethnic groups. And it's a really beautiful deck of cards, and it really speaks to me. I love it to pieces. And about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, it was destroyed in a fire.
Oh, bugger.
And it's out of print.
Oh, double bugger.
So if anybody sees a Tarot of the Ages in a second-hand shop anywhere, please do grab it for me.
Oh, yeah.
You will be my friend for life if you can find me one of those. There are a few for sale online, but they're hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
So we've got to find a second-hand shop that doesn't know what they've got. The truth is, you don't really need a tool such as tarot or oracle or runes or anything else. You don't need it.
But it is reassuring to do it, and then to, you know, what you were thinking as one of your options, let's say, and then the guidance card comes out and goes, yeah, you're on the right track with what you're thinking. I think that, well, personally and professionally, I think that's very reassuring. Although they're called guidance and oracle cards, I think sometimes they're reassurance cards as well.
Yeah, that's good. But we are all an extension of source. And there's no separation between you and source consciousness.
Absolutely.
You have access to the mind of source,
yeah,
or what some people call God. You have access to it whenever you want. But because we've been brought up into the illusion of separateness, we've been brought up to believe in it. And we all buy into it to a greater or lesser extent. Then the cards make a useful prop. They give us permission. We do, by using the cards, we give ourselves permission to do what we could have done anyway without the cards. And I think healing is very much like that as well. Whatever healing modality that you choose, it's really, you're doing something in order to think you've earned the right to heal.
And empower yourself.
Yeah.
Or for the other person that you're doing the reading for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've always said that everything is placebo. It works because you believe it works.
Not necessarily, but I'll let you have that point. I've had loads of patients who are complete skeptics and have gone, this is a load of bollocks, and then they've gone, ooh, actually, it did work. I just didn't want to believe that it would work. So there's been quite a few people over the last 17 years that have turned up and gone, I'm only turning up for this treatment because my wife's paid for it or whatever. And then they've got the most amazing results, despite the fact they didn't fill in the consultation sheet and they said it's a load of bollocks and it's not going to work for me. And it did.
Well, the thing is, Annie, you believed it was going to work.
Well, I wouldn't be doing it otherwise, would I, if I didn't believe it worked?
Exactly. So it worked for you. The client was irrelevant. It worked for you because you believed it was going to work. The client's only a reflection of you anyway. I could be entirely wrong. I often am.
I just know what happened, and I just know how much it helped that person, even though they said, you know, it's not going to work for me. It's a load of rubbish. and I'm only turning up because my wife paid for the treatment and then got extraordinary benefits. So, but yes, of course, I believe in what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been self-employed for 17 years, would I?
And you do it very well, Ellis.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
I highly recommend any day, and heaven sent bliss.
Thank you, darling. Thank
in
you.
Stafford. Hop along if you're in the area.
Hop along.
Hop along. Hop along. If you can't do anything else, at least go and experience Annie's wonderful garden.
Oh yeah. I've got even more fairy lights now, Jack. Solar powered fairy lights up.
Just being in that garden is healing.
Oh, massively. Massively. I'm very blessed to be here, Jack. I am very blessed.
Right. I'm just going to wind up by saying that certain decks are good for certain questions, certain subjects.
Right.
Most readers have a collection of different decks.
Yeah.
And they'll pick it, depending on the question, they'll choose a particular deck to answer that question with.
Okay.
But if you're not sure, then just set the intention and let your instinct tell you which deck to pick up.
Yeah.
And then answer from that deck.
Yeah.
That's all I've got for us, Annie.
Right. Well, as Jack's been talking about tarot cards, it makes sense for me to talk about oracle and guidance cards. So, oracle and guidance cards are a tool for self-reflection to add to your magical and spiritual practice and for fun. And while oracle cards can offer insights similar to tarot cards, there are some major differences. Most tarot decks are based on the Rider Waite deck, the OG of tarot cards. On the other hand, oracle decks have far fewer rules. Might be why it resonates with me so much. And also, as I told you last week, my auntie used to use tarot when I was a small child, and the images really upset me, so I never went there again. So there is no one way to make an oracle deck. The cards may contain messages from goddesses, fairies, unicorns, or self-care tips. So I've got a whole range of different ones, including Louise Hay's as well. They also contain as many cards as the creator wants. A common way to use them is to shuffle the deck and pull perhaps a single card for inspiration or insights into your intuition. You can also do spreads that are similar to how many people use tarot cards. If you're new to using oracle cards, or even if you're an old pro, try starting each morning with an oracle card and meditation. Sit holding the deck, and when you are ready, begin shuffling. Feel free to ask about a specific situation, such as your love life, career, your health, or simply ask the deck, what do I need to know today? Oracle cards are usually made up of about 30 to 60 cards with illustrations and messages. These cards aim to provide you with love and positive guidance. You may have heard people talk about angel cards. This is just another name for oracle cards. Growing up, I would use what I like to call my angel cards. All the time, I would lean on them for gentle reassurance and would gain so much hope and inspiration every time I did a reading. Positive guidance cards can be used whenever you feel you need to. When you're feeling negative, confused, or a little bit off, use your positive guidance cards for reassurance, answers, motivation, and positivity. When you're feeling good, you can use your positive guidance cards to raise your vibration even further. Oracle cards are a great tool for self-reflection, as well as manifesting and becoming more spiritually aware and in tune with yourself and the multiverse and whatever higher powers you believe in. Some people think that if the cards you're using aren't tarot cards, they do not have the ability to answer your questions. However, In my experience, positive guidance cards or oracle cards absolutely do have the ability to answer your questions and guide you in the right direction in a positive way. For example, let's say that you've asked your cards a specific question, something like, will I get this new job? You pull your cards and you get let it go, stop, rest and clear your mind, which to me, this would mean to let this one go, to stop, look around and clear your mind before moving forward. Maybe there's a job that is more suited to you on the horizon that you cannot yet see. Or maybe you will get this job if you let go of the control you're holding on to in regards to getting it. Remember that the universe sees possibilities that we cannot see. When something negative happens, it is usually just a push in the right direction. One day it will all make sense. On the other hand, let's say you ask the same question and you receive the card, new beginnings, relax, everything is okay and well. This essentially is a great sign that the job is yours. So can anyone read their own oracle cards? Yes, they can. Anyone can read their own oracle cards, positive guidance cards. You don't need to be spiritual. You don't even need to be practiced. You don't even need to know what you're doing. There is no right or wrong. Whether you think you are or not, we are all spiritual and we are all intuitive. What could I ask my oracle cards? Anything you like. However, there are some questions that I like to ask. What do I need to know right now? Is this situation right for me? What do I need to know about my career? Tell me about my love life. Is my manifestation on its way? And do I need to take action on this idea? What do my angels, the universe, whoever you believe in, want me to know right now? With the question, what is coming up for me, I like to pull 3 cards out which represent one for the past, which is any time from yesterday to 3 months in the past. The present moment is this precise moment, and the future is anything from tomorrow and 3 months in the future. You could also do weekly or monthly spreads, or do 9 card spreads representing 3 for the past, 3 for the present, 3 for the future. This is especially good if you're finding yourself at a crossroads in your life. Before using your deck for the first time, make the deck uniquely your own by connecting it to your energy. While in a calm and positive headspace, touch each card with the intention that your energy is pouring into your deck. Get to know your cards. Look at the images, look at the messages on them. And also, most of them have, as this one does, have a little booklet. So if you haven't managed to glean enough information from the individual cards, then you could look it up. So it has about a paragraph or 2 paragraphs to explain to you what the particular card means, to give you additional clarity and guidance. You can ask whatever higher power you believe in to talk to you through the cards. I usually ask God, my guardian fairies, angels, unicorns, dragons, and more. Shuffle the card while you set your intention of what you want clarity and guidance for. Ask your question. You can pull cards out which may feel random when you feel the need to, or stop pulling a few cards from the top of the deck. There are no set rules. Often single cards will jump or fall out. That's usually a special message for you using your intuition. You can give readings for yourself or for others. When doing a reading for yourself, focus on you, your thoughts, your feelings. When reading for others, I like to imagine a beam of energy light radiating from the deck of cards to the person. I feel this connects their energy and current situations to the deck. You want your deck to feel completely yours and completely connected to you. I always cleanse the cards after each reading so it's free of past energies. So what I'll literally do is put the cards in my hands and say, I release all my energy, all the other person's energy to Mother, the Earth, to be transmuted so that they're ready to rock for the next person. Use your intuition. That's what these cards are about, really, to strengthen your belief in your own intuition. Meditating before a spread can be also super powerful in connecting to your higher self and higher powers. I also recommend writing down what cards you get with a date. This way you can look back at other synchronicities and possibly see the patterns of what you've been pulling for the last few months, predicting the reality you're currently living in now. So what I do is, so this is one of my favourite packs of cards, Mermaids and Dolphins. So what I do is I set my intention, think really carefully about what it is that I want these cards to show me. And then while I'm shuffling, again, I'm setting my intention about what it is that I want clarity and guidance for. Depending on how much time I've got, I'll either do 9 cards, 7 cards, or 5 cards. Sometimes I only do 3. There is something very potent about odd numbers. So odd numbers seem to work the most potently, especially for doing card readings. And then I'll lay them all out and then turn them over, basically. So I've just turned one over. I asked, what did I need to know? Self-employment.
Oh, yeah.
It says you're a born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. So that was a nice little message, and spot on. That's exactly what's
Spot on for you. Yeah, spot on for you.
The very first pack I bought was about 15 years ago, and it's called Healing with the Angels. And I do work with angels a lot. I'm not discreet about it at all. I tell everybody about Archangel Michael and about us all having a guardian angel. So at the time, I was working in a women's refuge. It's a bit of a challenge. And every day before I went to work, I would just say, what do I need to know about today? And I would get the most extraordinary, lovely messages that would really help me during the day to support the children I was working with and the adults as well. But also for me to know that I was safe and protected as well. So these are the lovely Doreen Virtues, Healing with the Angels card. Go on, Jack. So again, as with most oracle cards, familiarise yourself with the pack. So have a look at all the pictures in it, have a look at all the words, and then if you need further clarity and guidance, they've all got a couple of paragraphs that will tell you the additional meaning. And the more you use them, the more confident you will be as well. So this is another of my favourites. It just shows you that the fairies protect everything. So a lovely friend, I was in Italy and they tipped their coffee on my pack, which is why it hasn't got its original box, basically. But although some of them look a bit tatty and a bit bashed in from the deluge of coffee that covered them, I managed to clean them off and dry them in the sun, and they're just as beautiful as ever. And again, they are just such beautiful, beautiful images. Let's see what we've got with these. Well, this is quite relevant. My son's had pleurisy, and then he's had a UTI, and this says, son, your son is watched over and protected as he explores the world.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So, you know, they are accurate. They are helpful. And like that one, it's really reassuring to know that's the case for my lovely son. And then Crystal Angels is probably the newest pack. So it's a combination of angels and crystals. Jack would like these, I'm sure. So it's got the most beautiful, beautiful crystals. So watermelon tourmaline, clear quartz, amethyst, all sorts of lovely crystals. And then what the angels are telling you about your choice of those cards. So Barnabas, would you like to choose one?
Yes. So
Okay, so I'm
how do we
gonna
do this online? Because
right, I'll show you how you
I
do it
can't
because I've
I
done it
can't
several
shuffle
times.
them.
No, but I can. So you tell me when to stop shuffling.
Oh, I see. I get it.
So if you watch me, if I put my hands up further.
Do it for 3 weeks then.
So just tell me when you want me to stop. There are 44 cards in the Crystal Angel deck.
And stop.
Ooh. So delight, socialize or join in, make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. What have you been doing today?
By gummy. Look at that.
Actually, if I pull it further back, you might be able to see the words on it as well. Can you see the words?
Soda, is that socialite or sodalite?
Sodalite, so Sodalite. Some people, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, call it sodalite. I don't think that's how you're supposed to say it. I prefer soda. Soda.
Ice cream sodalite.
I
So these
prefer
are Doreen.
sod a lot, but there you go.
Sod the lot, yeah. That'll
So
do.
Doreen Virtue, Crystal Angels, and then this is a lovely pack. This is Oracle of the Mermaids. It's the largest pack of cards that I've got, and there's no fast. What shall I say? There's no fast readings with this. It gives you the divination. It tells you all sorts of things. So I'll show you these beautiful, beautiful cards. That one's transparency. The magic of the Colleen Druid. So she's a Celt. Big surprise. Big surprise. Time out, awareness, contemplation, solitude, and time alone. So what's unusual? Oh, the next one I'm interested in, you all will be. Divine sensuality, making love and erotica.
And the point of that.
Say no more. Say
We'll
no
have
more.
some of that, kids, won't we? We'll definitely have some of that. So this is the lovely Lucy Cavendish, and so the actual cards themselves have very little written on them, whereas the other oracle and guidance cards have a lot more. But she does do divination. So I've just turned to any random page and it says divination, Atlantis, a feeling of connection to crystals, sea creatures, to being able to heal and work with people telepathically, an urgent desire to do something more meaningful with your life, past life memories as an Atlantean or dolphin or other sea creature are surfacing. So there's about another 3 paragraphs worth. So I just thought I'd show you what our options are, but these are absolutely enormous. Children really like these, I think, because they are so big. I think it's because they are so big. And then one of, like Jack's, this is out of print. So the last time I tried to get a copy of this, it was £390. So I decided that I didn't need to buy it, somebody else it, just keep the one I've got. My lovely son bought this for my 40th birthday. So yeah, it's been around a lot. So this is Tree Magick. So you can do the reading like you would any guidance card reading. But they also suggest that if you want a yes and no answer, there are half of the book is, and half of the trees are heaven trees, and the others are earth trees. And so what it suggests, if you're at that pivotal moment in your life and you really need a yes and no answer, you shuffle, set your intention about what you want clarity and guidance for, and then you choose 9 cards. If the majority are heaven cards, it's a yes. If the heaven or earth cards, it's a no. And it's got the most, well, I think it's a lovely, lovely book.
Yeah, we love trees anyway, don't we?
Oh, we do. Jack, this is so lovely, honestly. So it's 52 magical messages for inspiration, protection, and empowerment. So that's Tree Magick by Gillian Kemp. And I think that's about it, really. I've got 25 packs I counted today, Jack, of guidance cards that either people have bought me for presents.
Not due for a start. We started.
So people buy them me as presents, or that lovely speaking tree. I go in there and I go, no, I've got enough guidance cards, and then oops, but there's this one that I haven't got already. So I've used that as well. So the other thing I was going to talk about was lovely runes. So this set of runes was made by my lovely friends Kelly and Alex McKeating, who have an eBay shop, are on Facebook, are at Penkridge Market Wednesdays and Saturdays, and Rugeley Market other days. And they're called Thumbelina's Holistic Therapies. So they made these. I've got this lovely gold box. And then these are wooden runes, Jack. They're just the most glorious thing.
Very nice.
Beautiful, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. So some of the ways that you could use runes, you could put them in a bag, you could shake them up, set your intention, and then select whatever number it is. Again, odd numbers work best for runes. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. And then you need the meanings for them, basically. The other way of doing it, I've done in the past, is I've set my intention and then tipped them out onto the floor or a stable surface and said, whichever ones are symbol upwards, those are the ones that are going to be for me, basically. Another way of doing it is to turn them all face down so that you're only seeing that one. And then literally with your non-dominant hand selecting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however much it is. And these have a blank one, which is called Odin's. So it's for those things that are still unseen, basically. But I just love the feel of wooden ones. There's just, well, we're nuts about trees anyway, aren't we? So I'm not really surprised. I'm very grateful to my friends for making these for me.
If you can get a set of runes that have been handmade by somebody you trust,
yeah,
rather than turned out of a factory.
Oh, just the energy of these, Jack, is just exceptional. It really is.
And you know that they've gone to the tree. They've asked permission to use the stick.
Exactly that. And also, while they were making these, because they knew they were making it for me, so while they were doing the pyrography, they were thinking these are for Annie Day. And I think there's something quite magical, like cooking a meal for someone. Cooking a meal for Jack and putting lots of love in for Jack, I think really transforms them, even if they weren't beautiful already.
No,
so runes are an ancient Proto-Germanic tradition dating back, we're told, to potentially the 1st century AD. They consist of a runic alphabet of 24 letters, usually made out of wood or stone, that were used as a method of writing, fortune telling, bind runes, and sigils. The first completion of the total alphabet was the elder Futhark runes in the 5th century that are most often still used today. And then the younger Futhark, I have to be careful how I say this.
The older chart.
Futhark, not Fuckheart. Are used today. These were adapted by the Vikings and other Nordic tribes and cultures across other northern European places. It was sometimes believed that they held strong divinatory powers and as such were taken seriously. The origin of the word rune is said to stem from the Germanic word for mystery or secret. And similar findings are present in Old Irish Gaelic, Welsh, and Old English, sometimes also meaning miracle. In Lithuanian, it can mean to speak, and in Finnish, the runes are called a poem. I like that. I like that. These days, runes are used as a method of connecting to one's higher self, for inner guidance and tapping into our intuition as a method of foretelling what the future may hold and offering advice similar to oracle and guidance cards. The runic alphabet traditionally holds 24 letters. Sometimes sets come with a blank stone called Odin's rune that is meant to symbolize that which is not known yet. Odin is the Norse god who sacrificed an eye to see everything that happens in the world as such. So if you got this rune, it implies that it isn't time for certain information to be divulged to us mere mortals yet, and we should simply trust in the divine timings of life. The elder Futhark runic alphabet is split into 3 equal parts of 8 runes each: Freya's Ayet, Hamdal's Ayet, and Taya's Ayet. Ayet means family. These 3 parts tell the story of life cycles. The first set of runes are representative of finding our footing in the material plane and the accumulation of worldly possessions. As such, it holds runes symbolizing things like cattle, the main indicator of wealth in those times. The next set of runes tell us of our increasing maturity and growth. It holds runes such as obstacles, fate, and harvest and abundance. The final set of runes portrays our developing spirituality and legacies. It includes runes such as birth, community, intuition, and inheritance. So, Fehu, I will try and find these. Might be easier said than done. Let me see if I can find Fehu. I think that might be. So this is cattle and wealth.
Yeah.
The first of the elder Futhark, Fehu, indicates prosperity and material wealth, either won or earned income. It can represent good luck, abundance, and financial success in the near future. It can also relate to social success. Keywords for this particular symbol are abundance, luck, hope, prosperity, and wealth. And then Euros is ox. Oh, so I can find that one as well. Come on, little ox. Is that him? That could be it. Oh, the one that I've just thrown on the floor, I mean, Jack. Definitely a jumper. So that's it.
Yeah.
So Eurus is the ox. The second Eurus is representative, the wild bull. This is a rune of strength, endurance, hard work, perseverance, motivation, and determination. It can indicate indicate a time of great energy, speed, and health. Keywords are strength, endurance, health, courage, vigor, vitality, force, and perseverance. And then Thurias. We find Thurias. Is that you? Could be it. So it looks like a little flag. So this is Thuris, meaning mallet, giant, and thorn. We like giants, don't we?
Got a show on it.
We certainly have, darling. This represents Thor's hammer, or a giant. As such, it indicates a powerful direction of energy and force for either destruction or defense. So may also indicate conflict. This could be cathartic, cleansing, and purgative. Keywords are defense, challenge, danger, protection, attack, and strength. And then Ansus. Let's find you. Oh, no, don't go under there, thank you. Wouldn't be helpful at all.
Naughty little women.
No, it's going underneath my laptop, which isn't going to help me at all, is it really?
Smack its bottom.
I know. So, and talk.
Oh my God.
That's it. Ansus is the message. Ansus is the rune of communication. It's represented the ancestral god Odin's wisdom, and so indicates a divine message or insight arriving. Keywords are revelation, signs, visions, insight, messages, knowledge, and communication. Right, I've just seen you, so I know where you are. Mr. Ra. So this is Rado and Journey. That's this one. Rado is indicative of a journey and represents a wheel. This could be both physical travel, as in a holiday or house move, or a spiritual voyage in the expansion of your horizons. Keywords are progress, movement, evolution, perspective, journey, and travel. Now, torch, where are you? Oh, that way, isn't it? Right. This is Kenas. I'm not holding it up the right way, but I am now. Torch. Kenas is the flame or torch. As such, it represents the beacon of truth and finding your true north, guided by your own shining light. It can indicate that that which was previously unknown may come to light. Keywords are enlightenment, knowledge, comprehension, insights, illumination, callings, and purposes and ideas. And then I've just seen you, haven't I? And then the next one is Gebo, the gift.
Yeah.
Gebo is the rune.
It's funny how we put those after our names on letters, isn't it?
Yeah. Almost like we knew what we were doing.
Almost.
So Gebo is the rune of gifts. It's a positive symbol that indicates you're in the possession of many gifts and talents, or that someone will bestow upon you bountiful blessings. I like that. Keywords are generosity, partnerships, relationships, gifts, talents, charity, service, luck, and fortune. Woo woo. I'm liking that. And the next one is Wunjo, which is that one. Wunjo is joy. Wunjo is representative of the clan's flag and victory. It represents triumph and joy, security, safety, celebration, and belonging. It can also indicate harmony, prosperity, and spiritual rewards. Hamdul's Ayat. In Norse mythology, Hamdul was the watchman of the gods. Keywords are pleasure, joy, feasts, celebrations, and comfort. I like that one. Yeah, definitely like that one. And there's one that looks like a H, which is not a H. That's it there. So this is Hagalaz, and it's hail. Hagalaz represents hail, the natural form of disaster which strikes out of the blue and has the power to destroy much needed crops. Because when these were first used, it was very much agricultural people, wasn't it, Jack?
Oh,
That's
yes.
why cattle and hail and things like that are represented there. It is similarly indicative of sudden and cataclysmic change. Similar to the Tower card in Tarot, Hagalaz represents an unavoidable damage that is out of our hands. Keywords are destruction, natural wrath, uncontrolled forces, testing, change, external inputs. And then this one is called Nothis. Nothis is about needs. Nothis is indicative of our needs. What do you need to feel emotionally stable and fulfilled in this moment? Are you taking enough time for yourself to balance work, rest, and play? Assessing what our needs and where we may be currently be lacking can help us to take better care of our future selves, as we cannot pour from an empty cup. Spot on, isn't it?
Perfect, yeah.
Keywords are need, restriction, disagreements, resistance, survival, necessity, and lacking. Then the next one is Isa, which we would pronounce ice, basically. This is ice. Isa represents ice. It's symbolic of the Hangman card in the tarot. It highlights the need to pause, wait. Although there may be a feeling of being stuck in ice, sometimes a break is what we are needing to put things into perspective. Wait until you have gathered all the information, all sides of the story, or simply allow the universe to unfold. Keywords are suspension, delay, stillness, frustration, blocks, pause, and waiting. Right, where have I just seen you? Have I just seen you? Ah, that's it. Harvest and Jera. Jera is representative of the harvest. It indicates that we can now reap what we've sown and enjoy our plentiful abundance. If you don't feel like you have many blessings, it can show that either a breakthrough is on its way, or it is time to take stock and express gratitude for what you already have. You'll be surprised by how much you can always list in a gratitude journal. Keywords: year, conclusion, harvest, life cycles, endings and beginnings, abundance, learnings and growth. And then this is one of my favourite ones, and probably Jack's as well. This is you, as in the tree. Beautiful, isn't it? In Norse mythology, the ash tree is sometimes said to be translated from the old word for yew needle ash. Ygridisil is representative of the tree of life. As such, it relates to the circle of life, similar to the death card tarot, signifying the dying of an old way of being or a period of life. It can also represent divine protection, wisdom, enlightenment, and the key words are connection, inspiration, endurance, sacred knowledge, and protection. Where are you there? This is Perthro, destiny.
Right, yeah.
This is a gambler's rune and as such represents the cup of dice or fortune. It indicates that Influence in life may be down to chance and so can go either well or not. The lesson here is to learn to take the hand you've been dealt and make lemonades out of your lemons. It can also represent hidden meaning, secrets and chains. Keywords are fate, mysteries, the occult, feminine fertility, chance and fortune. Right, where are you? I've just seen you. This is Algis, the elk. It kind of looks a little bit like an elk, doesn't it? Though it could be his antlers, couldn't they? Algis is the elk and so represents defense and protection. If you get this one, it means you have the internal power to manifest all your dreams and that your spirit guides are protecting you along your path. Keywords are protection, guardian, awakening, courage, defense and instincts. Is that you? Yeah, I think this is it. This is sun. So willow is the happy symbol of the sun. It represents a time of joy, abundance, luck and good fortune. Keywords are success, vitality, inspiration, justice, success, joy, happiness and abundance. And Tir, the North sky god, was representative of war and justice and the sun. Then we want Tiwaz. There it is. This is the victory. Let's do it the right way round. There we go. So this is Tiwaz, victory. Tiwaz is representative of the warrior's arrowhead of the god Tir. It shows that you are capable of spearheading your way through all your troubles and possesses great leadership skills, authority and rationality. Keywords are leadership, rationality, victory, honour, bravery, courage, strength and endurance. And then the next one is birch. Bacana, birch. Bacana is the rune of birth. It represents the birch goddess and so indicates fertility and creation, not just of an actual birth, its traditional meaning, but also of projects, partnerships and rebirth. Keywords are fertility, growth, renewal, new beginnings, birth, creation, new projects and creativity. Then the next one is Hewaz, which is the horse. Hewaz is the horse. This represents man's trusty aid, only form of transport in times past. It indicates a moving forward and changes for the better with gradual but steady progress. It can also show teamwork. Keywords are progress, movement, harmony, trust, loyalty, friendship, duality and animal instincts. Got ya. The next one is Manas, the man. Manas is representative of humankind and humanity. It encompasses yourself and identity and relationship towards others. It is social order and cooperation, our sense of core values and morals. Keywords are humanity, collective, mortality, community, relationships, morals and values. This one is Lagos, the lake. Lagos represents the element of water and so is tied to our emotions, dreams and intuition. It indicates a healing power of renewal, heightened imagination and psychic abilities. Keywords are water, intuition, imagination, healing, mysteries and trusting your inner knowing. Then that one, isn't it? This one is Ingwas, fertility. Looks a bit like our double helix DNA, doesn't it, as well?
Just a bit, yeah.
I think they knew what they were doing, didn't they? Really. Where did I get to? Ingwa's fertility is the rune of fertility representing the earth god Ing. It points to fertility, virility, well-being, ancestry, family, and loose ends being tied up, as well as lineage. Keywords are fertility, virility, inner growth, virtue, peace, and harmony. And then heritage is Othala. Oops, sorry. It'd be good if I did it the right way around, wouldn't it? Othala is the rune of inheritance. It tells of our lasting legacy, spiritual heritage, values becoming aligned to what is truly important. Keywords are legacy, inheritance, spiritual growth, abundance, values, and contributions. And I've already explained how you could use them. But you could do a 5 rune layout, 7 rune layout, 12 rune layout. And again, if you pull this one, you're not supposed to know about this bit of your journey. So it's Odin's. And that's it.
Thank you, Annie. That's
Very
all
much
very,
my pleasure.
very, very informative. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And your tarot was.
Especially like the bit about the runes. That was really good.
They're just beautiful, aren't they? And Kelly and Alex, again, because it's got their lovely energy in it. I just love them so much. I really do.
I wonder if
And
they
knowing
make me.
someone's made it for you special, there's something really scrummy about that, isn't there? There's something
I wonder
really
if they
nice.
make me a set.
Yeah, I'll ask them.
Thank you.
I will ask them.
Thank
Can
you.
they make you a set as well?
Thank you.
Because you know the workmanship that's got into this. And also they painted it gold. So it looks like it's what shall I say, that it's a treasure. It looks like it's a treasure, isn't it? But yeah, I will ask them to make you one as well, darling.
Thank you, Annie. Barnabas, you haven't actually said anything tonight. Do you want to say anything about the runes or the oracle cards or the tarot?
It's like I suppose that this is the one thing that it was the last thing that I wanted to have anything to do with, and I found them the cards to be very helpful. I've got my camera. I don't know if I can stretch it over there to the cards that no, you can't see them, can you?
No,
I can.
We
I
pulled
can.
out.
They're what you pulled in Glastonbury, I think.
And I wondered if you knew why they were in that particular order. Did I put them that way, or did you
Yeah, I think
arrange
so.
them?
Yeah, I think so.
Because we got the top ones are time to move on and ready, set, go. So that's pretty much
That was exactly right.
before I
Woo-hoo!
flew off to Spain on my own for the very first time on a plane on my own, leaving the country. But they were at the top. I just wondered if there was a reason why they went to the top of the display.
No, I think it was just that we wanted to get them in on
a picture,
on one photo, yeah.
And then we got waves of prosperity and synchronicity.
Well, that's your job, wasn't it? We didn't know that at the time, but
No.
that was that you'd got accrued so much time, hadn't you?
Yeah.
That you didn't need to work your notice. And
no, it was amazing with that. And then the bottom three are treasure chest, contemplation time, and rest. So they were all really sort of affirming, weren't they? They were all.
Yeah.
I think maybe any of the ones in that particular deck would have had the same kind of positive message, but I was a bit unsure about whether I wanted to do this, and I thought, well, you know, I'm in Glastonbury, which is where Jack is now.
And Annie's forcing me.
Well, no, I didn't think
no,
that.
I just invited you, didn't I?
I thought I want to open up. And that's really what I've done coming to the show as a guest, as a listener, as somebody to big it up at the end because it needs bigging up because it's amazing, the show. Every time I do that. But it's like I want to expand my understanding
Yeah.
of all these different subject areas.
Yeah.
And then the cards was like the last thing that I wanted to go anywhere near. And then when Jack said about tarot cards, and I thought, well, I've been, as far as I'm aware, I've been everywhere else, you know, with my journey to Spain, all the different firsts that I did there.
Yeah,
And I thought, go on, Jack, tell me about tarot. So I was thrilled to bits. I think you were less so because you like the angel cards, Annie. But I just
think
wanted
because
to
I
know.
had a scary experience. I was only
get it.
4 when I was
Yeah,
seeing them,
yeah.
and it just wasn't good for me.
And
But I really love the guidance cards, and what I love about them is you don't have to learn anything; it's instantaneous. So
yeah,
I think it inspires and empowers people to do readings for themselves.
and you've got that little book because
Yeah,
Catherine had some cards as well in Spain, and we were picking one out each morning.
yeah,
But there's a little booklet with them all, isn't
yeah.
there?
Yes,
All
there is,
20,
yeah.
And
all
that's really helpful, isn't it?
all 25 packs.
Yeah.
And then spreads. I've just got a question mark about spreads, but you're talking about how many that you line up for the reading, 5 or 7 or 9 or 3.
Yeah.
You call it a spread, that, yeah?
Yeah. And so if I was going to do, let's say, a reading for you, I would suggest that you shuffle them, set your intention of what you want clarity and guidance for. And then when you think you've shuffled enough and put your beautiful energy in, I'd ask you to separate them into 3 sets. And the middle one is the present.
Yes.
The left-hand side one, or the right-hand side, doesn't really matter, is anything from yesterday to 3 months in the past. Then the future is anything from tomorrow and 3 months in the future. And then you just select 3 of those. So you've got 3, 6, 9, again, an odd number.
I think
And that seems to be the most comprehensive to give you the answers that you want.
when I was shuffling them in Glastonbury before they were laid out for the photograph, I was just thinking, well, I've never asked cards anything. Just tell me about me, you know, tell me about something about my life, you know, about my energy. I don't really have a question as such. It's the first reading that I've ever had. I just want it to say something about me, and it certainly
And
did,
what a
didn't it?
spectacular reading it was, babe.
Wow. Couldn't believe and it was so, as I say, it was so reassuring. So having had that experience when I went to Spain and the shuffling the cards in the morning and picking out a card, I thought, well, I've done this
I know
before.
about
I
this.
know
I've done it.
I know what I'm not on about here. And yeah, so that was one of the last things that I was holding at arm's length. Was the cards and runes. That sounds a bit runes, and then the tarot. Oh. So we've had them all tonight. So thank you very much.
Glad you enjoyed it, Andrew. All right, well, thank you all very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
thank
thank you
you
to Jack.
Thank you, my lovely co-host Annie Day,
Very much my pleasure.
with whom which the show would be a mere shadow of itself.
Oh, you little sweetheart. Thank you. Oh.
And for Barnabas for coming on and being a great guest.
Thank you very much.
For all of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you've not already done so, and help us reach more people.
Yay!
Namaste.
Namaste.